everybody there?
All right. Well, I want to welcome you guys to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. Well, you guys already know. My name is Ed, and with me today, I have a special guest for you guys. I have the new head baseball coach of your Dub Sea FishSticks, Justin Adams. How you doing, my man?
Hey Ed, I'm doing fine. Man, I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, you know what? This is this is a first for me. You are my very first head coach, because you're also coach at Tyler High School in Tyler, Texas, correct?
Taylor High School.
Taylor, I'm sorry,
Texas.
Taylor.
They get confused all the time. We get confused with Tyler. We get confused with Katy Taylor High School. So it's kind of a common name, but I'm at Taylor High School in
Taylor High School,
Texas, just outside of Austin.
One of my favorite things, because you guys are the Ducks, right?
We're the Ducks. I have this thing for water mascots, I guess. Right?
You most certainly do. You really do, because you're going to be the fish sticks. You almost were the seal slingers head coach.
Yeah. Either way, I guess it's the water. I guess maybe draws me to it.
Hey, listen, it's all fine by me, right? I love both the names, so that's pretty awesome. So before we go into your trajectory of becoming a head coach and all that, I would like to start with one question. How Justin, growing up, how did you become a fan of the sport of baseball?
So oddly enough, my aunt taught me how to play catch the day of my T-ball baseball tryouts. I grew up in Waller, Texas, just outside of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes to remind me of that story. Hey, you taught by a girl, this, that. I don't care. She taught me how to play catch. I'm good.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess just from that time, I've just always gravitated towards the game. And I grew up playing and participating in other sports as well. Baseball was just kind of always the passion that just rose to the top. And I don't know, you play what you think is high level baseball in high school, and you get to go to the next level and play. And when I was in college, I spent most of that time battling shoulder injuries, which I actually still deal with now. But so it was kind of really clear that playing wasn't going to last very long, but find a way to stay in the game. And I'll say, at times this career is a challenge, but at the end of the day, I get paid to coach baseball and be around the game and be around kids, and there's no better career.
That's awesome. Good for you. I mean, you're developing, players, right? You're teaching them, what is the right way of playing baseball. So at least you're still in the game.
Right way, I guess, is subjective, but
yeah. Right. Exactly. True. Everybody has their own way, their own right way of teaching baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's same for me. I knew right early on that I was not going to be a player. I have bad knees. I'm 6'2", bad knees. I knew that and I'm slow. There's just no way around this. So I knew that I was not going to make it. And eventually, now that I'm 40, I found a way to stay around the ball, the game by doing this. So in interviewing, interesting people like you. So,
well, I like it. It flatters me a little bit that you think I'm interesting. I got a wife and kids downstairs that may not feel that way.
Same as my house. So we're good.
But I dabbled with playing in some men's league baseball, playing some slow pitch base, but it just I get such joy out of coaching baseball and the strategy behind it, and finding the little ways that I can impact our kids and our team. And I think that's just what draws me back to it every day.
That's awesome. Now let's go into it. How going from you figured out that you weren't going to be able to be a baseball player professionally. How did you make that transition from ball player to now coach? How was that transition?
Honestly, I think I was so young, I didn't know what I was doing when I made the transition. You just get out of college and your parents are hounding you about getting a job, and exactly, man. I took just right away. I got out of college. I didn't have a teaching certification in Texas. To coach at a public school, you have to be a certified and a full-time teacher. So it's a little bit different than I know a lot of other states are. So I jumped in an alternative certification program to get that teacher certification, and found a job teaching sixth grade PE in Livingston, Texas, a small town in East Texas. And it came with assistant baseball, which I was looking for, and every other middle school sport you can think of. And I just jumped right in and took off.
That's
And
awesome.
obviously, throughout that career, I've been at 4 schools, and obviously just gravitated towards baseball, and always tried to, I guess, climb per se
Mhm.
in baseball versus the other sports. That's
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. Listen, hard work, right? It's just one of those things that what are you willing to do to make that dream happen?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so
Hey, hard work in this profession, probably a little bit of ignorance. It's a little bit easier to do when it was easier to do for me when I was younger, and it's still, young coaches have that ability to put in a lot more hours. And I got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, like I said, downstairs. If I'm doing a little bit too much extra now, I'm going to hear about it at home. So it's it. You got to put in that time, when you can in your career, and try to make those things happen for you. And I guess from there, I had kind of bounced around, worked in my hometown, and then the previous baseball coach from that town, Livingston, actually became an athletic director, and he hired me as his head baseball coach. I was 24 at the time, so I kind of got an early start. And when I got that start, I had no idea what I was doing. I had just to learn on the fly, things that I'd never even dreamed of having to manage and having to deal with. And ultimately, I think that was probably the best road I could have taken, because those things just they bounce right off me now. It has become a lot less stressful gig now because of those experience I had when I was
yeah.
younger.
And if you're gonna fail, fail fast and then move on.
Right. Well, I like to think I didn't fail. I'm sure I did fail in a lot of areas, uh, but yeah, I like to think I didn't, but I did a little bit.
You know what? That's awesome though. Like I have respect for people who are like, out there grinding it out. Like you said though, like, now you're a father of two. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and we got to find that balance, right? Because sometimes my wife tells me like, all right, I need you to put the Twitter down, and I need you to,
Right.
we're
Right.
spending time with the family. I'm, come back to us. So I
Yes,
get that.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
it's a fine line that you have to take. And
It is a challenge in my profession for sure. It's one that you either you figure out how to have that balance,
yeah.
or you get ran out, unfortunately. And
Hmm.
I'm lucky in the sense that I believe that I've found that balance. My wife also works in education. We actually work at the same school,
Oh, that's
so
good.
we do a lot of things like just try to try to be a part of the local high school sports, try to go watch those kids play. It's basketball season right now. My son is, big time into basketball all of a sudden, right? Like all of a
Yep.
sudden he's into basketball. So we have to put up a basketball goal for Christmas. And
Yeah.
we go to the high school basketball games, and, we sit 3 or 4 rows up, and we just get after it as far as being fans and watching the kids compete. And so I think I'm fortunate in that sense that I get to do it. I get to enjoy this profession, but I don't have to do it in a way where I'm constantly moving around the country and on the go and working for barely any money and living in a dorm room type deal. I get to do it with a lot more stability than most people get, I feel like.
That's a plus right there. Stability. You're putting down your roots with your family, and I'm sure your wife is just as supportive as you are of her. So, you
Hmm.
know that foundation is it's key for for what you're doing.
Right. It is.
Okay, so tell me, you're all the way out in Texas, and now you're about to go coach
Yeah.
a collegiate wood
Yeah.
bat team all the way up in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah. What am I doing? Right.
What I want to know is how that happened, the whole transition, how that go.
It's funny. I've never even been to Seattle. I probably shouldn't say that on any recorded you know
Oh, we're not
anything.
just between you and me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, I actually, so those guys, they were the Bears at the time. They
Mhm,
had posted a job opening for a head coach, and it wasn't the first time. They had posted last year, and I saw it. I didn't apply for it,
mhm.
and I believe maybe even the year before. But I had seen and I was familiar with their postings, and I
Yeah.
guess just kind of grown to recognize them as a little bit of a brand, and some of their values came through in their postings. A lot of community involvement, family oriented type deal. And so coaching in the summer with these summer collegiate leagues is something it's always been kind of a bucket list item for me. I'm fortunate enough in my job where I'm on a 10-month contract and I'm
Mhm.
outside of my contract in the summer. And you might think that, oh, that's great, spend more time at the beach, which we do, and we do a lot.
Right.
But we were just ready for something different. And I've looked into some of these in the past and had some job offers on the table, and they didn't match up logistically. And so
Got
what I
it.
mean by that is, I want a situation where I'm comfortable bringing my family up and maybe not being put in housing with, 4, 5, 6 other coaches for the summer. I was just looking for something different, something
Mhm.
that was more of a family atmosphere. They have a mind for service. The kids do a lot of service, community involvement pieces in their organization that attracted me to them. And so I just applied for the job like anybody else.
Mhm.
Um, I got a I got a first round interview questionnaire. I filled it out. I mean, I guess, right, like when you're applying for jobs, people like to embellish a little
Yeah.
bit. And the good thing for me, and I was telling Justin Moser this the other
Yeah.
day, is I didn't have to do that because I have a full-time job.
Mhm.
I got to just be raw and be myself, and it was fantastic. I loved the interview process, was just great. And I kept getting another interview, and I would get the next round, and I would get the next round. And finally, Ed, between me and you, since this is not recorded,
Exactly. It's not just between you and me. We're
I
just having a exact
I, I
conversation.
I got the email that I had been selected for a final interview, and my first thought was, "Holy smokes! I need to tell my wife." That is a true story. Um,
I'm
so
sure instead of holy smokes, there was another word that was thrown in there.
it definitely, if you know me at all, it was another word. Yeah, for sure. Uh, but so we talked about it, and literally, I didn't finish my first sentence talking about it, and she was on board. She thought it was a great idea. She was like, "Go get it, man! This is awesome. Let's go." And so I guess the rest is just kind of history, and or will be history, I guess, in 5 more months. So
Yeah.
but I'm really looking forward to the opportunity, the name change, just kind of getting to be a small part of that process, which I did nothing. I mean, Justin and
Mhm.
Steven handled that, and just like they handle everything else, they're such hard workers. But
Genuinely one of the nicest people, Justin, he came on my podcast and it
yes,
was such a, you know, good conversation. I meet a lot of people, not on the podcast or anything like that, but like, when you meet people, you automatically know whether or not they're going to be, like legitimately good people.
right.
Justin is one of those guys. Like he just wants to help out. He wants, like you said, community, involvement. And that's important.
Yep. He cares about that community. That's his community. That's where he grew up. He's from there, and I respect that. I really connected with him on that level. I actually coach in my wife's hometown right
Mhm.
now, so it's funny. We have jokes, that she's from here, and you know she's gonna be very upset at me for saying this, but she was when she was in high school here, she was a cheerleader and the homecoming queen, and she had all the things, and she's like, man, like we can't go anywhere without everybody knowing you now. And I'm like,
Finally,
I,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know, but it's all good fun. But so I really respected his sense of community because I really have that where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
Like we're genuinely part of our community. We're not just in Texas, especially with football, coaches come and go. They bounce around like crazy, even at the high school level. And that's just not, it hasn't been our experience in Taylor, and it's been great. And that's just something that I connected with Justin at the time through the interview process. So I'm really happy that everything worked out, and I'm very excited about it, really looking forward to it. And some of the opportunities, for me, obviously personally and professionally, but for my family, getting to experience another part of the country, and truly getting to experience, not going on a 3-day vacation. Like
Right. You're going to be living there.
we're going to get to live there for 2 months, and really get to immerse ourselves in the community, and kind of figure out what it's about, and hopefully go back in, next summer. And that's the
That's
plan.
amazing. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you're I love it that, when I moved, because I moved here from Puerto Rico, and I was young, a little bit older than your kids, right? Because I was 12, but it's like, I'm going into this whole new environment and, get to experience, a different community. That was, to me, eye-opening. And I think it really helped, shape who I am because of those, past and future experiences that I've had, here in Cleveland. So
That's great. So you say Puerto Rico, and that's like
yep.
all I can think about. I get a little bit of tunnel vision with Puerto Rico. My wife and I love Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And that was one of the places when we were both young, before we had kids. We moved to San Juan and lived on Condado Beach for 2 months.
Shut up.
So we just have, I guess, maybe a little history of doing this. Like we're okay with just getting up and going. And yeah, man, we rented a condo on the 7th floor of this building right across the street from the Marriott in Condado Beach. It was one room. The kitchen was right next to your bed type deal, like right there, efficiency apartment. But the whole wall just opened up to the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh,
just beautiful. And we got to stay there for 6 weeks. It was fantastic.
So, funny you say that. You say Condado Plaza. My wife and I, that's where we got married.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's where
so
we got married. So we flew from Cleveland to Puerto Rico, and my dad married us in the hotel.
So I will self-admit, I will butcher the names and the pronunciations of, I don't want to disrespect you when we talk about Puerto
don't
Rico,
worry about it. We're fine.
I'll speak in my Texas accent that I have a little bit, and I'll mess up all those names, and I apologize. But we actually were able to just return over Thanksgiving, and we stayed at the Hilton, the Caribe.
Yeah.
Help me out. See, I'm gonna need your help. Caribe, yeah. And, so we stayed there for the week of Thanksgiving. We had our Thanksgiving there. We got to take our kids back. Got to go
awesome.
do a lot of the things. Kayak in the bioluminescent bay.
Oh, isn't it awesome, that place?
It's amazing. That was our second time going, and this time was a little different. My son broke his arm the Friday before we left. So we strapped him in my kayak, and he's got his sling on, and so it was a little bit more of an adventure, but we got to do that. Of course, walk around Old San Juan and take the kids to El Morto and go to the beach and just kind of relax and have a little fun, and we had a great time.
By the way, good job of saying El Morro. Good job on that one.
I got that one.
You did good. I like it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let me ask you. First of all, I'm super happy that you love it, because a lot of people need to experience going to a different country. I really think that a lot of people should do that, experience other cultures.
Right.
So
correct.
Awesome for you. So let's get to back to your coaching. How do you approach because you're coaching high school kids?
I have high school kids right now. That's correct.
Yeah. So I'm sure that's a different dynamic than when you're about to go and embark on.
Yeah, it is. I think that I'm lucky in the sense that I do a lot of private coaching as well, like lesson type coaching with hitters, and I have no shortage of experience in dealing with players that age. So I don't think that there's really a learning curve for me in that sense. The roster will be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Those are things that just, when I see it on paper, it's I'm having fun in my head. We're going to get to manage a big roster. Pitching staff's a lot bigger. At the high school level, we got a lot of guys that, we like to call them our pitching staff, but the truth is they're two-way players. And if they're not on the mound, they're on the field playing a position. And so just some nuances like that I think are a little bit different. But as far as the age range of the players and the different abilities, we play pretty good baseball down here in Texas. So I'm not anticipating the level of play to be, out of my league or for lack of a better word, something like that. So I'm like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, next question.
Yeah, that's
I'm a rambler. I'll ramble.
No, ramble on. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I'm here for all of it. So you are saying that, right? It's going to be a much bigger roster, so you're going to have your own coaching staff and all that. It's just,
We will, yes.
what's you're saying you're looking at it and you're looking to have fun with it. Like, what's the one thing that you're looking forward to do when you have that roster, right? Are you like, okay, so are you going to be well, you don't know the roster just yet, do you?
Well, I have a pretty significant recruiting responsibilities. So every guy that we've signed, I've seen video on them. That video comes to me. We I text with them, with most of them frequently, and try to keep in touch with them, even though I've never met them in person.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fun. It's interesting. I get a text, late at night when I'm sleeping that I'll get the next day, and it's from somebody on the West Coast. I just think that it's so neat. I'm just getting to have so many experiences, so much fun. But I guess also, like, kudos to Apple there with the do not disturb function.
Isn't it a wonderful one?
Yeah, those little things that we just don't appreciate, man. But I think the biggest thing with the roster is just the sheer size of it. And looking at, in summer baseball with these guys, the most important thing is that we send them back to their universities as better baseball players. And to do that, they need to have grown, which means they need innings and they need time. And so just finding a way to balance putting a quality product on the field that wins baseball games, and that draws people to the stadium for Moser. They want to fill that place. And
well, yeah, absolutely.
That,
it's a business at the end of the day, right?
You can do all the promotions you want and have all the fun if you want, but if the baseball stinks, people aren't going to come. You gotta put a good product on the field. So I think that just balancing, the ways that we can put good products on the field with doing right by the kids that we're bringing in and making sure they leave better. And so I think that's going to be the biggest challenge, but that's the fun part. That's what I signed up for.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Absolutely. And you're molding players, which is, I'm sure, it's one of those most rewarding things, when you finally, get that player and eventually you see him in the future, possibly in the majors, and you're like, yeah, I was part of that molding.
It's always neat with baseball coaches. We all like to think that we're a lot different in our coaching styles. That's the same is true for me. I like to think I'm a lot different than a lot of guys, and a lot of guys that I've worked for and I've worked with. I am a lot different than them. And it's by no means am I saying I'm better. I've yet to win a state championship or, anything like that. I work hard, and I try to get the most out of our kids, and I empower them to try to give their best and to develop in ways that they didn't know that they could develop before. And a lot of the ways that we accomplish that is by just getting them to go fast, just to teach them to go fast. Everything we do is fast. It's hard. They swing hard. They run fast. They attack ground balls. We really don't focus a lot on the fundamentals of fielding a ground ball. By the time I get a 17-year-old, those days are gone. So we just focus on just having that attack mentality and trying to play hard and play aggressively. And that, I think, is my biggest thing that I would like to think when I get these 40 guys, these 35, 40 guys in Seattle, that is going to be the difference, that I'm going to be different than most of their experiences because of that, because I allow them to just be free and to go. And that doesn't mean that we don't coach. We coach hard. We just have a different style.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You said something like, it's all go. Because one of the things that I've seen, some players do, and this, happens a little bit more in the majors, is, you hit a single and you're not running through all the way. I was like, you just gotta go full go, right? It's that you gotta have that mentality always, because you never know, when that game is, it's gonna end one day for all of us.
It's the key to baseball is really simple. It's not necessarily scoring runs. It's getting bases and total bases, and that will contribute to more runs, especially over the course of a season. And I know, like, analytics people jump on me, whatever, but facts are facts. The more bases you get, the more runs you're going to score. And so we keep it simple. We don't necessarily we don't quantify the runs that we're hoping to score as the end goal. It's not the runs that we're going to put on the board. We keep it a lot simpler than that. We're at the plate. We're trying to get to second base. If we get stopped at first or we get walked, so be it. But we are trying to get to second base. That is our goal.
Yep.
It's crazy stat, and this is like a big league stat. And again, I'm not going to quote the stat perfectly, but something like a runner on second base with no outs in the big leagues has, ungodly,
high percentage of making
high
it
percentages
to
of scoring. And
yeah,
you got to think that if it's high in the big leagues, it's high in college, it's going to be high in high school. It's got to be even
correct.
higher. And so I haven't studied that. I don't have the data for that, but it's the common sense will tell you that if we can get to second base, we're going to score runs. And so we hit the ball in the air. We don't hit home runs. That's a thing that, like, you're on the baseball world on Twitter, that everybody will fight about that right now. But we do teach to hit the ball in the air. We're trying to use the square footage of the outfield, trying to get the ball over the infield. That is our goal. Does it happen every time? No. Do we expect it to? No. But that's how we train. We're trying to get to second base out of the box. And if we don't get to second base out of the box, within a few pitches, we're running. We're trying to force some action, especially in high school baseball. We're trying to get to second, whether that's a steal or a run and hit type situation, but we're going to get to second base.
Gotcha. I like it. I appreciate that. A lot of people will tell you, no, we want the long balls and all that. And yeah, that's the new sexy thing. But me personally, right? Not everybody else has their own opinion, right? I'm a fan of the small ball, right? Manufacturing the runs and making sure, like you said, it's like, okay, we go from first, we got to go to second. How do we get there? And all of that.
I guess, and I guess I probably fall right in the middle on some of that, because I'm not the home run guy, but I'm 100% actually not the small ball guy. Like, we're not going to bunt you to second base, and we're not going to,
because you're going to get an out at that point
and do the traditional run. Like, we're going to take the risk and we're going to steal that bag, or we're going, my favorite play in baseball is a run and hit. So we're not trying to hit behind that runner. I just want contact, and I want hard contact. I want to swing. The swing takes time away from the catcher, gives us time to get to that base. If we happen to hit into hard contact in the gap, we might score that runner from first. Now that's a big risk reward play. So at some point in the year, we're going to get doubled off on something, but we know that
those are the risks that you're taking, and that's perfectly fine.
We know them, and we take them. But I do get a lot of I get a lot of flack sometimes from my assistant coaches in situations late in games. Like, hey, you gonna lay this bunt down? Like, nope, we're not gonna lay this bunt down. And luckily for me, I guess it hasn't backfired on me too many times. We're still chugging away at getting to second base. So
hey,
all's good.
I was just gonna say, hey, listen, that's you, and you're not gonna change, your coaching style. That's who you are.
And it really is too. It's just a mindset. All of our players believe it. All of our players want to be aggressive in the box, and it hasn't reflected our statistics negatively over the last several years. We still draw just as many walks as we did, prior to that philosophy being put in.
Okay.
We strike out about the same amount of times. Like, it hasn't skewed our stats in a way that doesn't that justifies like doing it or not doing it. It's right. It's just a style that our kids have bought into. It works well for us. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to the summer and just kind of doing that with that bigger roster of those guys.
I'm sure. Yeah. You kidding me? You got some kids that are going to just ding out,
Yes, I'm excited about it. And, I'm not naive to the fact that, I'm in Texas, and I like to think that we play really good baseball down here at the high school level, and we do. But I'm not naive to the fact that the Seattle area also plays really good baseball. Those dudes up there can play. They've done it differently. We get, outdoor time 12 months out of the year down here.
That's true.
We're always on the baseball field. Those guys are always indoors now. They've changed their model. They do everything indoors, and they can swing it. Like, those dudes can hit.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to just kind of getting to immerse myself in that different style of play that's up there. But it's also a style that I kind of fit in with a little bit. So I just think it's going to be a really fun and interesting summer.
As long as they're fighting, and as long as they're grinding it out, that's all you can ask for, right?
Hey, and they're on a baseball field, man. Like,
you're having fun.
It doesn't get worse than that, right? Like, they're on a baseball field. It's stadium's awesome up there. Steve Cox Memorial, that park up there is great, and it's just gonna be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to it.
I love it. So let me ask you, and I need an answer from you. Were you a seal slingers or were you a fish stick at, when it was coming out?
Can I give this answer? I don't know if I can. Like, let me check my contract real quick. I had a divided household. I'll say it this way.
Same here.
When it first got released, my son and I were definitely team seal slingers.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely on that train. We were riding it pretty hard. And then my wife and daughter were fish sticks.
Mm-hmm.
My brother lives in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah.
And so he voted from Florida, and he was with me. His wife was not. So, it's just funny how that works. Oddly enough, I stopped voting though. I voted for a while.
Yeah.
And Justin will probably, watch this or listen to this podcast, and he'll be like, man, I knew that data from Texas was weird, because we were voting a lot. And then once it got a little bit closer, I just felt like I really kind of lost my ability to make a choice. They were just both so good.
They really are.
And then I think too, just knowing that, you're going to be the one wearing that hat and kind of be the face of that team. It just was really neat. And I really started to embrace both. And I'm kind of hearing that I might get to wear both at some point. So I think that's really neat.
So that would be pretty cool.
Fingers crossed there. But yeah, so me and my son, actually, we got our notification today, just like everybody else, that our fish sticks, on-field alternate hats had shipped to us. So I got on and bought them just like everybody else, and we're ready to rep those down here. And
that's awesome.
He asked me every day, man. Hey, Dad, are our fish sticks hat here yet, man? No, it's not here yet.
Not here yet.
We gotta wait, just like everybody else nowadays, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. So see, my house was a house divided as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was all for seal slingers, straight through. That's who I was. My wife, fish sticks, no matter, and then of course, at the end of the day, my daughter also went fish sticks. So, but I love them both. I think they're both great. They're both really good designs. I think they did a good job. I just had also Brandy O's on the podcast, and we were having that discussion, and they were telling me about the process of, all right, let's just have a boxing matchup between two really good, logos and good names. And, I don't hate either one of them. I really do. I'm really happy with both.
Those guys are so good at what they do.
They really are.
They are so good at what they do. Some of the names that they put out, like I'll tell you what, they have almost single-handedly changed minor league baseball.
Yeah, between them and Studio Simon, those guys are killing the game.
Yeah, and they really are. I mean, it's great what they've done there. I had a little moment the other day. My mother lives in Houston, and it was, it's 3 hours from us, and my kids go there quite a bit, and they go stay with her. So they're with my mother in Houston right around New Year's, and I get a picture of them in the store, and my son Aiden is wearing a pair of Griffey shoes. And I was like, man, like that is like, he's 9. He doesn't know who Griffey is, except for when we're watching the Randy Johnson documentary the other day and they're interviewing him. That's his extent of knowing who Ken Griffey is. But here he is. Like, I get a picture of him wearing Griffeys, and here we are this summer about to go play in Seattle, and he's going to get to be our bat boy. And literally our logo is modeled after Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
Like, this is all, everything is just working out right now, man. Like, knock on some wood, but it's a lot of fun right now.
So let me ask you that, because you just said like he's going to be the bad boy. As you counting the days that he goes up there to, be part of the team and all of that.
I'll tell you what, he's got his work cut out for him this spring, and really for now through the end of July, because he will do that this year for our high school team as well.
That's great.
So he'll get to spend a lot of time with our kids up there. In the past, we've had him in and out of the dugout. He'll come in, sometimes be in a uniform, but I never really felt comfortable with him in there. The game was just a little too fast. Foul balls came off a little too hard. He's really just now to where I'm comfortable with him in there.
Yeah, the
It was
reaction
never
time.
like being around our kids. Like our kids in Taylor are great. I mean, half of my baseball team and my 9-year-old son play Fortnite together. So online, they're great kids we have here, and so I've never really worried about him being in the dugout or on the bus with us because it's like, oh, he's with the high school kids or whatever.
Mhm.
It was really more of a safety concern. And then, too, like we play late. We don't start till 7. We're not done till 10. And, when he was in first and second grade, he needed to be home getting into bed.
Yep.
And so they'd come to a game for a little bit and then sneak out and get the kids to bed. But this year I told him, I was like, you're with me full time. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Here we go.
And
We're this is you're and that's awesome. Something that you and him are gonna share.
right.
That those are the experiences. No money can buy that, right?
Right. And those are the things really when you think about it. Like when I started coaching, I was 22. I didn't know what I was getting into coaching for.
Mhm.
I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I'm a 22-year-old that just loved baseball
Yeah.
and thought I knew something about it. Little did I know I didn't know anything. I've relearned everything I thought I knew.
Right.
Um, but I never at that time I never thought that being into baseball, I never thought about it as a way
Right.
to spend that time with my son and for us to have those experiences. But now, like where I'm at now, sitting here, 37 years old with a 9-year-old son, and a head baseball coach of these two water franchises here. I like there's no better place for our relationship than being a baseball coach right now for us, and that is just amazing. I can't.
That's
It's I
awesome.
can't. You really can't quantify that.
No, you really can't. And that's something that, like for me and my daughter, we do our wheel of hats and all that. But she comes to me and say, "Hey, Daddy, let's make a video," right? So that's, you know, I'm one, it's gonna be recorded, so she'll be able to see this later on. But we're spending that time together. And like I said, no money can buy that.
Right. That's right.
And that experiences, and you're seeing your son grow in front of your eyes, and
Mhm.
teaching him the game that you love.
Right. And I have tried to, as my son has played sports, you know, baseball, we started a nonprofit baseball league. I have rules on like who I can and can't coach
Hmm.
if they're, Taylor ISD students. So you have to be mindful of those and like creative in the ways.
Yeah.
So me and a group of guys, we ended up starting a nonprofit organization and basically like running a travel team
Yeah.
through it. And we coached that team through there. And it was a really big deal for our community. We actually at our peak had 7 teams, and a lot of those teams, I would kind of they were just dads that were coaching,
Yeah.
but I would train those dads up, and the kids are going and they're playing high quality baseball, and um, they're kind of doing that under my umbrella. And I actually have a lot of those kids into my high school program right now. So a lot of our kids have been not coached by me, but influenced by my coaching
Hmm.
for years. So I guess like it really is all on me at this point. Like our
That's
uh,
great.
but so I've been able to coach his team. I coached his T-ball team and I coached his coach pitch team. I was their pitcher for the coach pitch team for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he started kid pitch baseball this year, and we coached our first fall and played in that. So the funny thing is the schedule for us during the spring, because I'm committed to that. Like I want to
Yeah.
coach him, but I just find the funniest times to have his practices, and I'll leave a high school practice at 6:30 and drive across town to coach his practice. And my wife has him there and drops him off with all of our equipment. And it's a it's a big mess, but it's a big team effort, and it's really great.
Love it.
I kind of dabbled in coaching his little dribblers team when he was in kindergarten. That I wasn't very good at that. Um,
That's just more babysitting at that point.
yeah, that was a hot mess. And then recently in the fall, he actually got into BMX,
Hmm.
so bicycle racing, and we weren't really sure I have no experience with that, so we
Yeah.
weren't really sure what to expect. And it ended up being great because I got to be a spectator of my sons for the first time ever. He's 9 years old. It was really the first time that
You're just not
I'd
coaching him
take
at
him to
all.
BMX, and I just sat there on the picnic table and I just watched and encouraged him. And I don't know anything about it. So there was nothing that I could tell him. Yeah, I mean, there's maybe some things I could make up here and there, but
Right.
it was great because I just got to be a spectator, and we really enjoyed that. And then, like I said, the Friday before we went to Puerto Rico, he broke his arm.
Mhm.
And so he's been shut down from that for a little while, but I think he's getting ready to go again pretty soon. So
That's cool. I love that. I think that's amazing. You're just sitting back now and
just
you're not doing anything, just spectating and just rooting for your kid.
that's it, man. It's at a park that was a little adult beverage friendly, so we're just having a good time, just watching our
There
kids
we
and
go. Now we're talking.
just having fun. But when you know nothing about something, I think I know enough from coaching and being in this world to know that when I know nothing about something, I just need to be a spectator and be supportive. And it was really great to just finally get to do that.
Just step back and then enjoy the
That's
moment
right.
for what it is.
That's right.
That's crazy. Now, your daughter, does she like the sport as well? Does she like baseball, or she's like,
I'll tell you what, my daughter is different. My daughter runs our house. She is, yeah, she's big into gymnastics. She loves that.
Yep.
So she does, weekly and biweekly gymnastics, and really good, really impressive. Softball and baseball, like she likes going. I
Hmm.
think she likes being a cheerleader for her brother, but she's not really into it
No,
herself. And we're not, big on like forcing them to go play. That's just a way for
whatever they want to
burnout.
do is
Like,
whatever they
if she
want to
wants
do.
to start liking it one day and start playing it, she'll do it on his own, on her own, and then we'll coach her up. But for now, like, she loves gymnastics. She's out. She's being active. She got for Christmas one of those big. It's a big like trampoline mat. It's like 6 inches thick,
Yeah.
10 foot long. We can put it upstairs in the house. We can put it in the yard, and she just kind of gets after it on her
And
own.
starts doing flips and things like that.
And yeah, so our front yard has been pretty entertaining since Christmas time. The cars have lost the driveway. We do not get to park in the driveway
Nope,
anymore.
not anymore. No.
That is the basketball court. Matter of fact, my son the other day asked me if we could put basketball court lines on the driveway. I was like, man, like, we have an HOA. That's against the rules
You
there.
kind of can't do that, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we have him on one side. Actually, she's actually really good at basketball. She likes basketball a lot. I like freakishly kind of good. I was showing our high school basketball coach a video of her shooting, and he was like, "Whoa, she's got something." I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know, man.
They just surprise you out of
I
nowhere,
didn't
just like
know." Mhm.
my daughter's actually she's getting into, she's 3, so she's it's like starting doing the flips and starting doing jumping, and she wants to do either gymnastics or dancing, ballet. I'm like, listen, kid, whatever you want to do, go
Yeah,
for it.
get after it. Get after it.
I'm not gonna hold you back.
I think at the end of the day, right now,
Mhm.
they have so much access to video games
Oh
and
God,
YouTube,
yeah,
and so just
tablets and all that stuff. Yeah,
anything that I can get my kids to do outdoors is a victory.
you're
We are
right.
winning. They go outside and they play basketball for 10 minutes. We won tonight, man. They
That's
weren't
a
playing
that's a
video game.
victory check right there.
Yeah, we win. Yeah.
Because that's true. Like, I have to tell my daughters at times, like, no, you're not using the iPad. Go play, go do something. I don't
Mhm.
I don't want you to sit in front of the TV because it's just no, just no. Okay.
Yeah. I have become a big believer in just trying to give, when my kids show interest in something, I try to give them access to it.
Hmm.
I live less than a mile from my baseball field. So
Oh wow.
I also live less than a mile from our high school gym.
Hmm.
So you would think that, in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, we could be up in the gym playing basketball, but we don't do that.
Hmm.
We never did that before. Like, it was never a thought to, hey, let's go to the gym, turn on the lights and play basketball.
Hmm.
No, but I put one in the driveway, and yeah, that was a lot of work. And I barely got that sucker up. but
Yeah.
but now that I did, I mean, he's been on it every day. So I just believe there's something to that access, and I'm a believer in that. Just, and it may seem over the top sometimes. I know to my wife it does.
Yeah.
Like, do we really have to do this? Like,
No, we really do.
yeah, we do. Yes, we
We,
do.
it's either
Yeah.
this or video games
Yeah.
24/7.
That's right. Yeah, she's all talk though, because I'll tell you, when she comes home from work, she has already made it a habit to not park in the driveway. She just blocks she blocks the driveway with her Jeep, and it is a backboard, for out of bounds from the
Yeah.
road for the kids. And when I come home, I park my truck behind hers up against the curb. And about 9 o'clock every night, I go out, move the cars in the driveway, and that's what
But
we've been
that's
doing
okay though,
now.
right?
Yeah.
That's the sacrifice. It's a small sacrifice, really, just going up at 9 o'clock at night,
Right. Yeah.
for her and your son to be,
That's
spending
right.
time outside.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Love it. So when are you making it up to the Seattle area? When you guys going to go up there?
Yeah, so we'll go up there. We open up on June 4th
Mhm.
with the sticks. June 4th is opening night. I'm shooting for like around the 1st to get
Mhm.
up there. We'll obviously have a few preseason practices, get to know the guys.
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of same as I've told all of our players. Those practices are really important for me to write the first few lineups. All right,
Yeah.
right. Like, it's just video I've seen right now. So just trying to get the guys together, get organized, write those first few lineups, and put a quality product on the field from the get go. But yeah, so I mean, we're shooting for, that end of May, Memorial Day weekend, beginning of June at some point. Some of it does depend on my current baseball team.
Mhm.
Just to be honest, the hope is that we play for a state championship, and odds are not always in your favor on that. We have a lot of baseball teams down here, a lot of really good ones, but we are a perennial playoff team, and we usually go a couple to a few rounds deep, and those expectations here with me have only grown.
Mhm.
Our kids are hungry for it. So I mean, heck, I'd like to be thinking that I'm still coaching here on June 4th, and that I might be a little late getting up there.
Mhm.
But those are just things that, for myself, have to play out for a lot of our kids. That's a question I've gotten from a lot of our kids that we're recruiting is, what if I'm late because my college team is still playing? And I'm like, man, listen, that is a good problem.
That's a good problem to have.
If you're late
Absolutely.
because your college team is still playing and you're still playing that deep into the postseason in college, I'll see you when you get here, because
Yeah.
that means I'm getting a damn good quality player.
Yeah.
Right. And
Okay.
that's,
We'll see you when you get here.
yeah,
Well, don't
see you
worry.
when you get here, man. We will make it work. Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
what a good problem, right? And I've been really impressed with those kind of conversations with the kids that
Mhm.
we're recruiting.
Right.
We've just seems like we're recruiting just a very adult, adult minded,
Mhm.
driven group of kids. And I don't know if it's, yeah, I would say that, it kind of makes me think it maybe it's just the area up there. But we're recruiting kids from all over. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, if they're all lying to me or no, but I think that's, when you
Yeah.
talk about what we are as an organization, and we're service minded and big in the community, it's just kind of the kids I think that are gravitating towards us in that respect, or just they're good kids, man. They ask good questions, seem
That's
like they
good.
have good heads on their shoulders, and I'm really looking forward just to getting to know them all. Like I said, I've already built some I guess kind of virtual relationships with just
Mhm.
about all of them. They'll all shoot me a text, hey, just checking in, happy new year, things like
That's
that.
good.
Just no different than my current high school players do. And so it's just, I don't know if that's reflection of me or what, but I like to think that, you know
Yeah. No,
maybe
that's
that's just
that's awesome.
the type of kid that I'm
Yeah.
breeding per se.
That's awesome. Now these college students, they're what, freshman, sophomore year?
Yeah, so most of them we're getting like freshman, sophomore type
Mhm.
kids. Most of them are the majority. and
Okay.
and I'll tell you, that's actually, kind of my target audience, because I'm planning to return the year after.
Yeah.
And if they get up there and they can play and they're a freshman, well, I know that I got 3 more years with them suckers.
Yeah. I want to,
Yeah,
I want him back again on the team the
yeah,
next year.
and we'll invite them back. And I think that if we can get some turnover, and positive turnover in our organization, it's going to make us stronger. It's going to make us more competitive. It's going to make us a place where kids want to come,
Right.
a destination up there. I mean, the guys are doing everything else right, man. This rebrand has been great. So much attention. We really need to capitalize on that media coverage and that attention and put a quality
Absolutely.
product on the field. If we can put just a quality product on the field now, we're going to roll.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cause I mean, when you put the quality field and then you're like, they're winning, winning, it's a good remedy for a lot of things. Right. And then
It
the
is,
team is
yes.
starting with a brand new name, and I see a lot of good things for you guys. I'm happy for you guys. I'm going to try to make it up there to at least a couple games, just because I'm very excited for what Justin and Steve are building up there,
Yes.
with the fish sticks. I think that's cool. And especially you have Seattle Mariners and you're competing with a lot of other stuff, right? You're competing with the majors, and
Right.
and it's that community build team that I really do like a lot.
It's a very interesting concept, right? Because it's like baseball and you are competing with the Seattle Mariners. That's
Right.
nonsense. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think also in a sense you're not competing with them, because I think you're getting a different type of fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they can capitalize on those fans, I think it's going to be just tremendous up there.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the minor leagues, especially collegiate wood bet leagues. I've been getting a lot into it just because affordability, for a family, right? So you have 2 kids, going to a ball game to, a Houston Astros game, I'm sure is not cheap.
Man, I love the Astros. I'll tell you what, I'm probably like a spoiled Astros fan too. My brother several years ago, which Astros weren't any good at the time. So go figure, but he was a like assistant clubhouse attendant. So he worked in the Astros clubhouse.
Nice.
So I had like pseudo season tickets, right?
Yeah.
Like I could go anytime I wanted. I pretty much got to pick my seat on his little account. It was great. We went to Astros games all the time. I could tell you stories of like doing some crazy stuff. My wife and I, my son was a baby at the time. So we would get 4 tickets because that's what we were allowed to get. We would go to batting practice. My wife and I, we'd go to the Crawford boxes. We'd stand in batting practice. My mom lives like 4 blocks from Minute Maid Park.
Oh, wow.
So we would leave my son with her because, spend time with grandma. Like she ate that up, That's where she wanted to be. So everything was working out. My wife and I would go to batting practice. We'd catch a few balls. We'd have fun. We would leave the stadium, which normally you can't do because if you leave the stadium, you can't get back in on your ticket.
Right.
But we got 4 tickets. So we would leave the stadium. We'd go to like a local, restaurant or pub or bar, have a beer, have a glass of wine, get a little snack, waste a little bit of time. And then we'd come back in on the other 2 tickets and we'd have that row of 4 to ourselves, man. And we just loved it. We got to see so much, I'd say good baseball because, it's Major League Baseball. It's all good. We didn't see a lot of Astros wins those couple of years, but it was good baseball. So we loved it. But now I don't have that anymore. My brother, he works in a property management in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah.
So that Astros connection is like long gone.
Long gone. Yeah.
Long gone. So I'm a regular person again, and we pay a lot of money to go to Astros games, just like everybody else, and they're expensive. And we get to go to 1 or 2 a season. If we're lucky, or come playoff time, I try to go to more, but I'm married, so that only gets me so far.
Right, absolutely. And it's like you said, though, it's not cheap, because you're talking about tickets. Then you're talking about food in there,
Right.
drinks, and if your kids want to buy something, like a souvenir or something, so it gets to be expensive, and that's why I love the minor leagues, because everything is affordable.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you, I guess it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. One summer, I coached it was a 18U like showcase team, right? So these are like top level high school kids from the Austin area, and every weekend we'd go play these showcase tournaments in front of college scouts, and we would go around to like all these cities. And the company I was working for at the time would put me up in a hotel room and all this stuff. So my family and I, we turned that summer into like this perpetual minor league road trip.
That's great.
Right, we were just hitting like every minor league stadium in Texas, and I had been to most of them
Yeah.
already, but it's just like just getting to go again and experience them, and everything hits a little bit different with when your kids are there, right? Like
No, absolutely.
the first time that my son went to Whataburger Field in Corpus Christi,
No, the
he loved
hooks.
that
Yeah.
place, and we have like a huge connection to that place now.
Yeah.
We go down there all the time now. Dr. Pepper Ballpark in Frisco, that's really neat. Like kind of completely different atmosphere.
That's the sod poodles, right?
No, wait, they're the Rough Riders.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The
Yeah.
Frisco Rough Riders. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, they're the Rough Riders.
That's a great logo there too. So
and then of course, my house is like 12 miles from the Dell Diamond, where the Express play.
oh
Yeah,
man.
so and that seems really great, right? We get to do a lot at that stadium, just being so close logistically.
Mhm.
I've gotten to coach an all-star game there, Austin area all-star game. I got to coach all-star game. It's things like that. They're really neat. My son actually won like the Whataburger contest when he was little and got to say play ball.
Hey,
So
here
we got
you
video of
go.
that. It's just like things that you don't get to experience going to other ballparks, right? It's just so neat, so cool. I will tell you that the downside of the Express and the Dell Diamond is that it gets hot here during the summertime. And if they play a day game, man, it is unbearable.
You're not going to a day
It
game
is brutal.
because the Sundays is run the bases kind of usually for
Yes.
kids, and it's just I don't know. Let's put a lot of sunscreen on, kids.
Yes. I don't know how much you know about it, but like Whataburger Field where the Hooks play, they even have like misting stations
That's great.
and
Yep.
stuff in the outfield, which is really smart. It's that seems a little bit different, right? Because when you're in that stadium, the water is literally across the
Right
street.
there. Yeah.
And behind you, there's a ship channel right behind the left field wall. And so you just around water. It seems it's a little easier to be hot there.
Yeah.
But just sitting in Central Texas, it's like being in an oven. You're baking
Yeah.
in the summertime. So
I've
it's
been to
night games only for me at Dale.
I've been to El Paso, Texas during the middle of the summer.
Uh-huh.
And that was unbearable how hot it
Yes.
was.
Yes.
I could not believe it. I was like, oh, you know what? You guys can keep this. I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get pass.
That's something that oddly enough, like I'm kind of looking forward to this summer is the weather up there.
Yes,
during the
different weather.
summer
You're right.
Is we're gonna leave like 102 with 100% humidity, and we're gonna get to spend our summer in 75-degree weather. And
there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you might go a little bit lower. You're at night playing at night.
My wife and I, man, like we love the beach. Like I said, my brother lives in the Florida Panhandle, and we spend way too much time at his house because the beaches of 30A down there, they're gorgeous.
Absolutely.
They're so pretty. And then we really love the Corpus Christi area, so we spend a lot of time in the summer down there. And so we're gonna miss the beach this summer, but there's still water there. But
just a little different.
It's gonna be a little different, but I think ultimately we're just try it out. We're gonna look.
Why not? Hey, listen, it's all about the experience. Absolutely,
we'll
and
take a
enjoy
trip to the beach when we get back to Texas, right?
And have fun with it, my friend. Absolutely, absolutely. As soon as you get back, go to the beach. So love it.
Plan. Yeah.
All right. So are we ready, my friend?
Hey, let's have at it, man. Yeah.
All right. So let's go. My famous, not so famous questions. Here's the first one I ask everybody. So I'm going to give you an easy one. You go to the ballpark, right? Let's say you're going to Whataburger, Park. What is the snack or drink of choice that you have to get when you're there?
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of a two-part answer. Okay. I'm going to give you like my most Texan answer that I can.
I love it.
My beverage of choice is the Shiner. The Shiner Bock beer, brewed in Shiner, Texas. Big fan of those. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you got to put it on your list, man.
I will add it to my list because I have no idea. Shiner?
Yeah, Shiner.
Okay.
SHINER. They need to plug me for this, man. No, yeah, it's really, yeah, it's a great beer. So that'd be my beverage of choice. Just sold all around Texas. You can find it anywhere. And then I'm probably gonna go with nachos to go with
Mhm.
that. Like nachos with everything on it, right? Like
Hell
everything, the
yeah.
jalapenos, the meat, everything.
The whole night. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yes, absolutely. If you're gonna have nachos, have it the
Mhm.
right way with everything, especially jalapenos. Love jalapenos.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of eating too much, so that's
So am I. Okay. Tacos or burritos?
this man, golly, this is a hard question for me. So, you know, we have Tex-Mex down here.
Yep.
You know, we eat it. That's a staple in my house. Like,
Love
not
it.
that we don't make it, we go get it. And so I have this thing when we go out to dinner at a Mexican restaurant, I get whatever burrito they sell. That's always what I get. I don't eat anything else. I don't eat anything else at a Mexican
I can
restaurant. I
respect
eat
that.
a burrito and I get queso on top of it. That is what I get, standard. On the flip side of that, I did just cook soft tacos in my house tonight, which
It's Taco Tuesday.
those are like famous in my house only. Like they're not famous out of my house, but my kids love them. So that's what we cook once a week.
I like it because
But I'll go with
same here.
burrito to answer your question. I'll go with the burrito. Yeah.
But that's a good thing. It's like for me, I love breakfast burritos. I love regular burritos. Breakfast tacos. Like I make scrambled eggs. We put salsa and everything, put corn tortillas and all that.
Right.
So I'm with you there. Good answer. I like it. Okay, let's see. I got so many questions here that I want to ask all of them. All right, Star Wars or Star Trek?
I'm gonna get so much heat for this. Do I have to pick one? I don't like either of them.
That's your pick then. Go for it.
I'm like, I may be the only person, and I get that. I may be the only person that you ever bring on this podcast that says that. I fully understand that, but I don't like either of them. I'm just not a fan.
Mad respect for that, my friend. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Worst job you've ever had?
Man. So when I was in high school, my dad is in the commercial glass business. They do high-rise buildings. So one summer we went to work for them, and my job for the entire summer was after the glazers came through and put the windows in the buildings, and these are like, 10 foot by 10 foot big plate glass windows, several floors in the air. Me and my cousin actually lived with me at the time, and our job was to go behind the glazers and fill in the crack in between the metal and the glass with the rubber sealant. And so you just had to push it in with your fingers, and then like this little roller. And
Man,
we worked an entire summer and never got off one floor of that building.
What?
Now, that's legit story. I could take you to Houston and show you the building right now. We never got off that one floor, and it might have been because of our ability to do the job.
Yeah, right.
Or our, inability to get back from lunch on time. Maybe some things like that contributed, but it was hard work. And man, if you're scared of heights, you got to get up in them windows, and you're like reaching at the top, and you're like right up against them windows. Like I'm good. I think I picked the right.
You're like, that's it. That's it. No more. Yeah. I'll respect whoever do that, but that's not gonna be me. Okay. Pepsi or Coke, or you're a Dr. Pepper guy?
Man, I live in Texas. I'm a Dr. Pepper guy.
Good answer. You're not the first one to say that. It's like, listen, we're from Texas. We are Dr. Pepper first.
Dr. Pepper guys. It's sad, but I guess it's ultimately it's better for me. Is my family, we got COVID at the end of the summer. We all did, and I still I can't drink a soda. They taste horrible to me.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like no Coke, no Dr. Pepper, and sometimes I'll just want one so bad, right? Like, it's hot.
You just like the taste.
I drink all the water I can drink, and my son opens one up or something, and I'm just like, hey, let me try that. Like maybe it tastes good again. No, it doesn't. Still tastes bad. But
Oh
that's
man,
really like oddly enough, that's my only lingering effect is that soda tastes bad. So
that
I'll
you'll
take
take
it.
it.
I'll
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 take it
roll
all
with
day.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides, soda's not good for you. My wife tells me all
It's
the
not,
time. So
yeah, it's yeah.
there you go. Favorite board game.
Ah, man. So I knew you were gonna ask this. I watched and listened to a few of your other guests. So we play a lot of board games at my house. Like my wife's real big on the family night at the dinner table and playing
Love
the
it.
board games. And the that's her. She does those things, and I just get to tag in and reap the
You're the one
benefits of losing to the kids.
that.
So she's amazing. But my daughter right now is real big into chess. And I
Oh,
think the last guest you had, y'all mentioned checkers and chess a little bit.
yep.
And he was like, yeah, I really don't like chess. Like, I've been playing so much chess, and my 7-year-old daughter is like way better than me at it. She is good. So it's like, I don't know what that says about my intelligence
Your
or
ability to play the game.
yeah, but it's fun. She loves it. So that's like the hot game in our house right now. And then outside of that, like we break out the Candyland once a month, or
That's great.
or
Another good one. Classic.
yeah, we played Life the other day, the game of
Wow.
Life. That was
Yeah.
the first time I'd ever played that, I think, in my life, and it might be the last. Yeah.
First in line. I've dealt with
Yeah.
it. We're good.
I'm good on that one, man. I'll let my daughter beat me at chess every day, man.
All
It's
day,
for
every
that
day.
thing.
It's been such a long time. It's been years since I've actually played that game. So I forgot
Mhm.
all about how to play it. So I can
Yeah.
understand that. Chess, I'm not that good. I'll play it. But I'm one of like you. I get spanked every single time. I'm just not
Mhm.
that good at it. Know how to
Yeah.
play it, just not good.
Yeah. I won a game the other day, and I caught myself like gloating about it, and I was like, man, I think I beat my son. I was like, I just beat a 9-year-old, and I'm like happy about it. What's wrong with me?
Finally, I
Like,
win.
get yourself together, man.
I like it. All right. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah. I'm not a big breakfast eater. I drink my coffee in the morning.
Hmm.
Like an old man, I guess. I just like to sit and watch the news and drink my coffee before I get going in the morning. So I
Hey,
usually skip breakfast. So yeah, I'd go dinner.
I like it. I like it. Hamburgers or hot dog?
Hamburgers.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
It's
Uh,
easy.
New York style or deep dish pizza?
New York style.
It's a good answer. It's a great
Mhm.
answer. I like it. All right, a couple more, and then I'll let you get out of here. Okay, pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
No,
Good
no,
answer.
no, not a chance.
uh,
not, not on, not on purpose, man.
I will not order it on purpose. If it's there, I guess it's there. Favorite movie snack?
uh, yeah, I'd probably go with popcorn.
Yep.
It gets a little better, my wife, like, she'll like dump the M&Ms in the
Oh,
popcorn or
I was
something for
just
the
gonna say
kids.
that.
Yeah, she does that. It's like for the kids, right? But like, I love it.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? That
Yeah.
stuff is amazing. Y'all, little chocolate on the popcorn. Yeah,
Yes.
no, we're
Yeah.
good there.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm a kid.
baby, watching a movie tonight? Yeah.
Or let's just watch a show. Popcorn and M&Ms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
sounds good.
Exactly. Hmm.
All right, and then okay, would you rather drive or fly somewhere?
I think I'd rather drive. Like
Hmm.
we've driven a lot. We've taken a lot of our trips via road trip.
Yeah,
I'll have another one coming up at the end of May. It's really far, but I need a vehicle up there, so we're going to drive it.
just a
A
little bit of a drive.
little
How long
bit.
is it? Actually, I want to know.
I think I looked at it. It said it was going to take it's like 24 driving hours or something like that.
Wow.
I think what we're going to try to do is, the Moab Desert. I've always wanted to go there and like go through it. I've flown over, but that don't count.
Yeah, no, you want to
So I've
be able to experience it.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted to go through there. So I think at maybe on the way there, that's in the Salt Lake area. So
Hmm.
we're going to go up that way, maybe try to just see that, maybe not spend a lot of time there, but just see it.
Still experience it.
And
Absolutely.
and then I think on the way back, time permitting, because we got to get back to our real jobs, we're going to try to go the long way and hit Yellowstone.
Oh,
Those are just like their bucket list items, and
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
why not try, right? And
My wife would be very jealous. She wants to go to Yellowstone so bad.
well, it's still a want right now. I don't know that it's going to happen for sure,
Hey,
but
you never know.
that's our plan.
I
We'll
like
see.
it.
We'll see if we can work it out. Yeah.
It's a good plan, my friend. It's a good plan. All right. Before we go, where can people find you on social media or anything like that?
Man, that's a good question. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is here. You probably know it better than me because we talked on there a little bit.
I actually have it right here.
I am on Twitter, Coach Adams, Coach_Adams 19.
There it is.
I tell you, like, I'm really like a Twitter novice. I've had it before and really just like watched other people post and get on it and enjoy it. And I was more of a spectator. And when I took this job with the fish sticks, that was something that I wanted to be a little better at. Is kind of immersing myself in the baseball world a little bit more. And I'd always followed it and watched it and learned from the people, but I never really jumped into the discussion. So I'm trying to get better at that. And when I tried to get back into my Twitter, like it apparently, I don't know if I closed it, it didn't even exist anymore. So I just started a new one, and we're rolling a little bit, but like brand new. I'm still like learning what I should put out. Like, who wants to listen to me? Why do I need to put anything out? So I'm still kind of falling into that trap. It's a little bit of, bravery that I need to develop on my end, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that.
Hey, I'm still working on it, man. And I'm doing this for a little bit now. It's just, the way I do it is I keep it fun. I keep it happy. There's enough negativity out there in the world. So I get to interact with people from all over the country now.
Right.
They love the sport, love minor league baseball, love collegiate wood bat leagues. And it's a lot of fun. And then obviously this is how I got to get to know you, get to know Justin, the fish sticks, and all of that. So I mean,
right,
it's a fun community to be part of.
That is so neat, right? Like, baseball is such a unique community in that way. Being down in Texas, I'd coach football as well at our school, and the football community is not like that. It's not the same.
Yep.
They're really different, and that's just something it's made me gravitate towards baseball and towards the game. And there's always a way to be involved in the game, be a part of the game. I've told, several people this same thing, but, like, even coaching at the high school level, the majority of our kids aren't going to go on and be college players. Like, we want them to be playing for Taylor and playing for the Ducks and trying to be the best they can be now. But ultimately, if there's a few kids that we just want to make sure can play a good game of catch, because when they get out of school and they get a job and they get married and they have a kid, they're going to want to play a good game of catch with their son one day. And I can help with that. And that's like such a little way. And it's, that I can help, and it doesn't seem very impactful, but it is
just now. But eventually in the future it will be.
Getting to go out in the driveway and play catch with my son, there's nothing greater than that. And
I'm looking forward to that, because I bought my daughter a glove and all that, so we can get to toss a baseball or softball. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
No,
it really doesn't. It doesn't matter. So I think the baseball community is unique in that way, and I just love being a part of it.
I love it, my friend. Hey, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate you coming on. I learned a lot about you. I'm rooting for you. You guys are my fish sticks up there. So I'm rooting for you guys all the way.
All right. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate this opportunity as well. And I'm a big fan of yours now and what you do. And I'll be a long time listener.
Hopefully we'll get to meet up there in Seattle.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I hope you guys enjoy that episode with Justin. It really does give you a window in what it's like to be a coach, right? On the philosophies and, some of the sacrifices that you have to make as a coach in the sport in order to go ahead and, progress through. So make sure you guys are following him. Now, this is the first of a few interviews that I have lined up for you guys, as far as coaches, players, GMs, owners as well of some minor league teams. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button on this YouTube channel so that way you guys know when another one is dropping. All right, guys. Until then, keep on grinding and always support the minor leagues. See ya.